Tonight, controversial comments as Florida braces for protests against President Trump's policies.
A sheriff issuing words of warning if it gets violent.
We will kill you, graveyard dead.
Governor DeSantis also sending a strong message saying drivers can hit protesters to defend themselves.
You have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault.
Now, some of those protests are set to take place here in South Florida this weekend.
CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister joins us from one of the locations with reaction.
The key word that we're hearing from state and local officials is peaceful. They are urging anyone who attends these protests this weekend to remain peaceful and to refrain from violence. And they say that if you don't, you could end up hurt, locked up, or even dead. As unrest continues in Los Angeles, cities across the U.S. are gearing up for the No Kings protest happening coast to coast Saturday afternoon. The protests are in response to what demonstrators say are President Trump's authoritarian leanings, with a large focus on ICE and immigration. In Florida, law enforcement and political leaders aren't mincing words.
If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead.
Hundreds of protesters are expected to hit the streets in Broward and Miami-Dade counties. The governor sharing this message.
If you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets.
Florida, the anti-riot state, was the theme Thursday as the state's attorney general addressed the public ahead of Saturday's protests.
We are not California. We do not allow rioting in the state of Florida.
We spoke to the former City of Miami Police Chief George Colina regarding safety tips ahead of the demonstrations. This is the most important thing he said protesters need to keep in mind.
I think they should be mindful of who they're standing next to, because it's easy to kind of get caught up in the moment. And oftentimes you're not paying attention to the people that are around you. You could wind up going to jail. You can wind up being hurt, and not necessarily because anything you did, but the person next to you.
And there will be several protests happening Saturday here in South Florida. In Fort Lauderdale, that protest kicks off at 10 a.m. Here in downtown Miami and in Miami Beach, those protests kick off at 11 a.m. And in Homestead, they're having their protests kick off at noon. For now, reporting from downtown Miami, Anna McAllister, CBS News, Miami.